Hey guys, I'm Marsh, and welcome back to 2004 Scape. On the last episode, we purchased our first rare item, we continued leveling our skills, and we attended a couple community events. And on this episode, we're going to be investigating a strange cabbage cult that I've been seeing around the world lately. And we're going to be rebuilding our bank, since we used most of our cash for that rare item, and continuing leveling our skills, trying to round out the account. I hope you enjoy. Alright, we're finally selling off our U-logs. This is one of the first investments I made when I joined the server, and I probably made a little bit over $1 million from this, and it took quite a while, but I'm happy at least I made some profit. I think U-logs will keep going up probably, but I really need some cash, so I just wanted to offload them now. Alright, we got a big trade coming in, selling 16,000 of our essence for $230 each, 3.6 mil, helping us rebuild the bank even more. Missed the level because I got logged out, but that's 65 mining. I think that's going to be the last mining level for a little while. We might do essence occasionally, but I have a new method that's quite AFK that I'm going to try out. So we are here in Sears Village, and we're going to be training woodcutting a lot this episode. We're going to be prioritizing our woodcutting and fletching levels. I'd like to aim for at least yew trees and maybe magic trees at 60 and 75 woodcutting, and maybe into the 60s for fletching. And sometimes when you don't have as much time to play, it's better to find the most AFK activity possible. And I think woodcutting is the most AFK moneymaker in the game. While it may not be as much as essence, it still makes a good bit of cash, and it's a lot more AFK. So we're going to be starting out with maples, because maples are really good priced right now. I'm looking at the markets recently. So we're going to be doing that. And then moving on to yews once we get 60, because both of those are selling for a lot right now, and we shouldn't have to bank as often as we were with essence, so this should be a lot more AFK and still make us some good cash. Woodcutting will also be a lot more XP per hour than mining essence, so there's really pros and cons to each. Essence is more money per hour, but woodcutting is more AFK and more XP. So you can really do whatever you prioritize more, or just do a mix of both, which is what I'll be doing. 50 woodcutting, 22 herblore, just got 51 woodcutting. You could also cut willow logs, and I do sometimes. If all the maple trees are down, I'll cut an inventory or so of willows. They're better XP, but maples are just going to be a little bit more AFK and also make some more money. So I prefer maples over the willows, but if you're looking for the fastest woodcutting XP, I think willows are probably the best all the way to 99. We've got word of a cabbage cult meeting here, and I thought we'd show up and attend to see what this was all about, and we come bearing gifts for them as well. So let's see what these people have to say. I'm not sure what is going on right now. I want to see what these people are all about. I've seen a lot about these guys, and I just don't know what is going on here, so I wanted to just investigate, see what's happening here. They have this guy named Cabbage Lord here, who I guess is their leader. They all seem to be praising this guy. Huzzah, Lord of Cabbage, praise be to the CABBAGE. It looks like this guy picked 6,000 cabbages to get into the group. I think that's a lot. Like, I don't think you have to get that many, but that is wild. These people are dedicated. I really don't know what this cult is about. I know that there's something else that I just don't quite know yet. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out. I've seen one of these rituals in Ardoin before. Now this is the second one that we've seen. I've met a few of their members before as well. 52 woodcutting. Levels are going so quick compared to mining. I'm really liking this right now. 53 woodcutting. 54 woodcutting. I feel like we'll be at use at no time at this rate. 31 fire making. Occasionally I'm taking a break from maples and just doing a little bit of willows and burning them, just because I want to keep working on my total level a little bit too. And I want to do a little high scores update, see where we're at. Rank 3,400 roughly. We're still in the top 100 for thieving, and I'd like to get into the top 100 for agility. 55 woodcutting. 56 woodcutting. 57 woodcutting. Spotted another gathering of the cabbage people again, and I'm still not too sure what's going on here, but I just wanted to document the sighting. 59 fletching, Back to fletching a little bit. I just want to hit that 60 mark so we can use up all of our adamant arrow tips in the bank here. We got almost 15k now. Here we got a big trade coming in, selling 1,000 chocolate dust for 700k. And we're going to offer up a beer, as we do with every trade there. Nice addition to the cash stack. There we go. 58 woodcutting. Here we go. I'm meeting up with this guy, Pasca Hosu. I think I pronounced that correctly. I'm buying some guams so I can train my herblore up with all that Eye of Newts that we have in the bank. So this should give us a lot of herblore XP. Of course, we're throwing in the beer with every deal. 59 woodcutting. 60 woodcutting. We can now cut U's, so I think we're going to try that out. It might be a little bit more AFK, but probably not as good XP though. 61 woodcutting. I want to use those guams that we bought earlier, so I'm going to show you guys the fastest way of getting vials of water. You want to grab your money in RD South Bank, come to the general store, you can buy vials there, and then you're going to run to the palace right up to the northeast here, and you can fill it on these fountains. You have to click it one at a time, and then you just bank at RD South and repeat. And I think these sell for like 500 GP each, so while it's really click intensive, this can be a really good money maker as well, and I think we might try that in the future. So I just calculated how long it would take to do a full inventory of these vials of water, and it was about 1 minute 36 seconds, which means you can do 37 inventories per hour, and when you times that by 27, which is the amount of vials of water you get each inventory, you're at over 1,000 vials of water. And we can be conservative and say like 900, because maybe you're not being as efficient all the time or have a little less run energy than I did. So about 900, and if we sell for like 450 each, that's like 400k per hour, roughly. And that's a really good money making method. But the question is, do you really want to sit here and click really intensively and gain 0 XP? So it could be a really good money making method, but definitely has some downsides to it as well. But that's an option. 62 woodcutting. 64 woodcutting. 65 woodcutting. Sitting at 65 woodcutting, I'm going to test the rates between maples and yews, see how many logs we can get per hour, how much XP we can get per hour, and see which one is more worth doing at this point. Here we are, we're giving this new player a rune axe, and yeah, I'd just like to suggest that you guys always help out some new players when you see them. We'd always like them to stick around longer, so definitely suggest helping them out whenever you can. Okay, so we were able to chop a full inventory of maples in about 4.5 minutes. So that means we can do roughly 13 inventories an hour, which gives us 364 maple logs per hour. So if we want to multiply that by the GP, that would be 80k per hour, which isn't great, but it really doesn't take much attention, so that's good. And also if we multiply that by 110, which is the amount of XP per tree, you get about 40k XP per hour. Okay, so an inventory of yews took us about 7.5 minutes, so that's 8 trips per hour, which gives us 224 yew logs, times the average price, which is around 475 right now, which is 106k per hour, which is a little bit better than maples. And to check the XP, 224 times 175 would be 39k XP per hour. So it's really a similar XP rate, you know, give or take a couple K, but yews are a lot more AFK and a lot more money. And this was using a small sample size, but I would expect the maples to be a little bit more XP than they were compared to the yews. But the yews are definitely better money and they're more AFK, so I think we'll definitely be sticking with those long term. Okay, got a big trade coming up with spicy milk, selling 46,000 feathers for 966k. Remember when we bought 1,000 guams earlier in the episode? Yeah, I kind of realized that wasn't worth it because we have to spend so much time collecting the vials of water and the Eye of Newts, which take a lot of time for very minimal XP, and it still costed a decent bit for the guams anyway, so I really don't think it's worth it in the long run to do this. But I'm going to show you a multi-skilling method that we can get Eye of Newts with, while also training our rune crafting. So yeah, we just bring our air talisman, our cash, and our essence, head south of Falador, to the air altar, craft our runes, then we, 2 rune crafting, there we go. Can now craft mind runes. I probably won't be doing that. Then we head southeast from the air altar over to the Port Sarim Mage Shop. Then just buy a full inventory of Eye of Newts. They're just a couple GP each. And then run back up to the bank and repeat. You can bring some teleports if you want. That might be a little bit more efficient, but I'm doing this as like a second monitor activity. Just walking between the bank and the altar, AFKing a little bit. So it's pretty chill. 3 rune crafting, by the way. This method was shown to me by my friend KBD Killa 1. And we're going to be doing this until we get about 1200 Eye of Newts. Hopefully get a couple rune crafting levels in the meantime, and I'll see you guys once we're done with that. That is level 5 rune crafting. I think we just got 2 levels there. This is actually a lot quicker than I thought it would be. Oh, we just got a genie right before we could level up our Herblore. That's why I'm really doing this right now. I want to get my Herblore into the 30s because then we can get like over 100 more XP for each lamp. But this will probably be the last lamp where we're only receiving 220 XP. Got a big trade coming in. We're selling 10,000 of our essence for 2.3 mil. So I bought 500 more guams when I was on mobile last night, but we're only going to make the original 1,200 that we bought. I'm going to make the other 500 later on, maybe like next episode or something. 16 rune crafting, thought it was 17. And I know the skill is called runecraft, not rune crafting, but to me it's always been rune crafting, and it's always going to be that way. 17 rune crafting, and that'll probably be our last level until we start training Herblore. This should be our last inventory of Eye of Newts, and then we can go train Herblore, and we'll be back to rune crafting probably in the near future. 23 Herblore. I'm curious to see what level this will get us to, because I have no idea. I didn't really calculate it yet. Okay, we've just turned all those guams and vials of water into unfinished potions. And that hurt my wrists and hands a little bit, so I'm going to do something a little AFK, and then we'll get back to Herblore and make them all into potions. 24 Herblore. 25 Herblore. These levels are going too fast, I'm going to have to slow down a little bit. $39 Herblore, and I think that might be the last level we get from this grind, but that gives us 170 extra XP from each genie lamp, which is going to add up to a lot of Herblore XP over time. So while this was a pretty tedious grind, I'm really glad that we did it, at least to get these early levels here. And we recently just hit 800 total level, by the way, so that's another big milestone for us. Now I've been meaning to train my Fletching up, and I've collected a few more arrow tips. So we're going to use these 12,000 arrowheads and see where that can get us with Fletching. Usually it's better to do this while multi-skilling, like running between the S-mine or whatever it is. But we're just going to chill, try to pay as little attention as possible, and just bank stand while we do it. And we'll see what Fletching level this gets us to. Level 60 Fletching, that's a huge milestone, because we can use all of the adamant arrow tips that we have saved up. We have a few thousand more in the bank, but this is all that we have to use with our headless arrows right now. So we'll finish up the mithril, and then we'll start using the adamant. 61 Fletching. 62 Fletching. 63 Fletching. Looks like that's going to be the last Fletching level we'll get. We'll use up the rest of these headless arrows. Okay, we just used up all of our headless arrows. We're sitting at around 400k Fletching XP, which puts us at about a third of the way to our goal of 75 Fletching, because that's about 1.2 mil XP. And then we can use up all the rune arrows that we're ready to make with the rune arrow tips, and that should give us a lot of money as well. So that we're just going to slowly work on that, find some arrow tips from the shop when we can, and maybe Fletching some logs in future updates. Here we are at the good old Blue Moon Inn, collecting some beers for the episode. Last time we didn't collect the full amount and we got called out for it, so we're making sure that we do that this time. And I think I had a cool idea. Every episode we're going to visit a different bar around Runescape and just learn a little bit about the history of it and just check out a different place of scenery. Okay, we are one inventory away from reaching our goal of 500 beers for this episode, and we're going to be going to Karamja now. So here we are, arriving at Karamja Wines, Spirits, and Beers. Owned and operated by this guy, Zambo, who actually has a really cool colored shirt. I wish you could use this for your character. But this bar opened up on June 11th, 2001, which is about 5 months after the release of Runescape Classic back in January 2001. So in stock, they have beer, 3 of them, which we've already bought out. They have Karamjan rum, which I think is used in the Pirate's Treasure quest, and they have jugs of wine, which is one of the only ways to get it at this point, and I think it's the only way for free-to-play members. And I realized it works differently buying beer from this guy. You actually can't go through the dialogue and buy one at a time. You have to wait for them to restock. But I'd like for this whole inventory to be of Caramjan beer, so we're going to just wait it out and just AFK while we fill our inventory up. Alright, we're leaving Caramjan now. That took quite a while, but you know we needed some of that fresh Caramjan beer. I'm going to go back to the bank now and give you guys a bank update. Alright, so I just wanted to give a quick bank update. We're sitting at over 500 beers, and we've also been collecting spinach rolls and pots of flour. We're at 108 of those and 41 of those. Our dragon bone stack is almost at 3,000, so that is almost 10 mil worth of dragon bones. We're just going to save those up, I think for the Ectofuntus update, but we'll see about that. Food has been about the same as it's been. We have 3,000 rune essence. We sold off a lot of those this episode, but usually whenever we need to AFK something, that's our go-to. So we'll be back getting more of those in the near future. We have our beloved Easter egg, my favorite item in the bank. Really happy that we bought this the last episode, and maybe we'll get some more rares in the near future. We can keep saving up. That took our cash stack down pretty low, but we're sitting at 10 mil. We've recovered quite well, considering we have that much bones as well, so I'm liking where we're at with that. Our log collection is looking really good as well. We're up to 62,000 willow logs. I plan to either try and sell those for a little profit or get a lot of fletching XP with the Fletch X update. We also have a lot of maples and yews and a regular magic log stacked up as well. This is our arrow and fletching section. 44,000 bronze arrows, 28,000 iron. I haven't been buying these as much as I used to as of late, but eventually we'll get back to that and make a little bit more money off of selling those. And at worst case, we'll have easy range training in the future. And here's our arrow tips that we're going to be using in the next episode or two to continue our fletching grind and our road to 75 fletching. Below that is pretty much junk. I have some stuff like Herblore secondaries that might be worth a decent bit, and a little bit of a burnt food collection, but other than that, below this is mostly junk items. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode today. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting for this series, and I'm excited to continue making episodes for this. We got so much done in today's episode. First off, we investigated a cabbage cult, trying to figure out what that was about, and we still don't fully know, so that's to be continued. We also made a lot of trades and started rebuilding our bank after we bought the rare item in the last episode. We got our woodcutting up to 65 and our fletching up to 63, so we got both of those skills into the 60s, which is really nice. And we got level 39 Herblore, which will help us get more XP from genie lamps. And lastly, we got level 17 rune crafting, which will come in really handy in the future, and we'll continue to train that. And normally I don't like to ask, but I'll ask those of you that have stayed all the way to the end of the video here. But if you could please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, that would really help this series and help me out.